Welcome to the 4Foot10 Podcast. I'm your host, Ariel Julie, and I am 4'10". I am a Chicago comedian. I am so happy to be doing a podcast that is not about comedy or Chicago comedy. In fact, what this podcast is about is everything early 90s, late 90s, early and mid 2000s pop culture that I am weirdly fascinated by and passionate about for no reason at all. It's just what I like and who I am. So millennials out there, this podcast might be for you, or it might not, because I'm into some really niche things. So today, my guest is the incomparable, wonderful, beautiful Kayley Horton.
It's me.
You just hit that.
I'm breaking things. It's me.
Yay. Kayley is also a Chicago comedian. She's hilarious. You should definitely check her out anytime she's on stage, or in general, because she's very pretty. So yeah, she's great. And we are going to, we've done a couple episodes. We've talked about very in depth about some different things that we are very passionate about.
We're very opinionated ladies.
Musicals and musical television shows.
Spend the gambit so far.
We're very passionate about things that are musical. So today I actually have a little bit different of a structure. So remind us, Kayley. So I was born in 1990, for you guys wondering. So I am 33 years old. Kayley, when were you born?
I was born in 96. I'm 27.
Okay. So being born in 96 means that you have a little bit different opinions of something. Like I'm wearing the Spice Girls shirt, which we love. And this shirt is like, I actually got it from Target recently.
Did you?
In the men's
They're selling
section.
Spice merch?
In the men's section.
In the men's section.
This is a men's small.
Did you get Bob one?
No, I wanted to.
That's Ariel's
Actually,
boyfriend.
I got Bob a Biggie Smalls shirt.
You should have switched it. You should have gotten Biggie Smalls and given him Spice World.
That wouldn't have been right. And he would never wear it. And I love this shirt. But it looks very similar to a sweatshirt I really did have when I was 8 years old in 1998. So a lot of these things, I don't know if you'll have really significant opinions on because you would have been a much younger kiddo.
Yeah.
So I have a list of things and I'm just going to go through the list. And if you have an opinion
This will be interesting to see where we differ.
I think it will
because we have a lot of similar opinions on a lot of things.
We do. But when we differ. We're
about to fight.
We're about to throw hands. If you've always wanted to see two pretty white girls kind of like poorly.
They probably just scratch each other a little bit.
Yeah, that's what this will be.
And then we'd go get like tacos afterwards.
I will love you no matter how wrong you are. I will still
You can be wrong. It's fine.
You can be wrong. I'm not wrong. It's my podcast. This is the 4'10". I'm 4'10".
You're 4'10".
How tall are you?
Taller than that? 5'6".
Are you 5'6"? Really? That must be nice to be like a little. Are you above?
It's pretty
average?
It's pretty average.
Average.
If you're like a short person, you'd be like, oh, you're tall. And if you're like a taller person, you'd be like, oh, you're kind of short. It's like pretty in the middle.
That's nice. I'm just short. I'm short forever. Okay. All right. So we were talking about 90s, 2000s, mid 2000s. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Actually, I've got
So
one.
we're like kind of rapid firing these, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can take your time with your answers.
We've got an array of.
But if you don't have an opinion on something, we'll just skip over, maybe edit it out or whatever.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't want to start with one that I know you have an opinion on, so I'll come to that one later. Okay. So first, let's talk about fashion. Okay. So let's talk about toe rings versus anklets.
God, it's like, why are we pitting two queens against each other? I feel like I don't have an incredible opinion on this because I wore both.
You wore toe rings?
Yeah, when I was like a kid.
No.
For sure. I've been thinking we should bring them back. They're kind of cute.
Toe rings?
They're kind of chic.
No.
Yeah. And like flip-flops and like little sandals.
No.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm an anklet girl all the way.
So you want attention drawn to your feet.
No, my ankle.
That's very close to the foot. It's connected to the foot.
It's not the same.
Well, the attention's going to be drawn either way.
You want attention on your toes?
If they're done. If they're like pedicure.
If they're done.
I'm not going to like bring out my crusty musties, but if they look nice, I'm like, yeah, look at my little toes. You know how many guys have feet fetishes? That's a third of the pool that I could attract.
Girl, I have an OnlyFans. I'm very aware of what's going on.
There you go.
Oh my God, I got a new client recently he's a foot guy. He's a 6'8" engineer, 40-year-old virgin.
6'8"?
Yeah.
40-year-old virgin?
Yeah. So many things.
How does that
going on
even
with this guy.
happen?
I don't
Both
know.
of those things
I
at
have
once.
no idea. But he's into feet, and he was like, I want you to do like a clip, like a video where you're this socialite and you're like pampering yourself and you're all about your feet. And I just want your soles of your feet to the camera, but then you're
the soles of the foot?
the sole, like the bottoms of your feet to camera, but you're this socialite girl and you're talking about being pampered and all of that. I was like, okay, and then what? And he was like, and then that's it. And I'm like, that's the whole video? You don't want me to like strip or masturbate? Like, you don't want me to...
He just wants the bottom of your feet.
Yeah, you just want to look at the bottom of my feet while I talk about being a socialite. Like...
That is a very specific,
but kink. Kind of awesome because it's like, I don't have to do anything.
Pretty harmless, seems like, but
it was really fun doing it because I got to break out my Tiffany's jewelry because I do. Do you remember the Tiffany's necklace that Elle Woods wears in the opening sequence?
Yeah, obviously.
I have that necklace.
Do you really?
I got it for my bat mitzvah.
That's awesome.
Because I asked for it.
That's awesome.
Because I was 13 in 2003. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so... Your team toe ring.
So you're strong anklet.
I'm strong.
See, I didn't think I was as opinionated about toe rings as I am, but apparently
you are. See, we're learning a lot about each other.
We're learning.
We really are. Okay. So toe rings versus anklets. We have talked about that. Okay, great. As far as like a decoration goes, would you prefer a yin yang or a smiley face?
Oh.
This was a very late 90s trend. Yin yangs and smiley faces were everywhere. The yellow smiley face, that was just like the most ubiquitous thing. But yin yangs really made a comeback in the mainstream.
They did.
You know, culturally, a yin yang symbolizes like balance in this ancient, you know, Eastern Asian kind of like idea of balance and meditation. But, you know, teen girls in the Midwest in the 90s will slap a yin yang on a pair of jeans and we're very
We'll get a tattoo. We'll get whatever.
A tattoo of a yin yang. We're here for it.
We're wearing t-shirts.
Oh, yeah. Hats. Yeah. Fedoras.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want a yin yang fedora?
I think I'm going smiley.
You're going smiley face.
I do. I think so. I think the yin yang is a little too bouge for me.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Uh-huh. Like, there's a type of girl that really is into yin yangs, and she is like, has crystals, and she like knows her zodiac sign, and she's like way cooler than I am.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. I hear that.
Whereas the smile, I feel like, is maybe more ubiquitous.
See, I feel like the yin yang had more longevity in terms of a decoration. Like, it was always kind of corny and cheesy the way we were wearing them, but it's the same amount of corny and cheesy today that it was at that time.
That's true. It's had a long life span.
Yes. And I think the smiley face, popular. Like the yellow smiley face was just, that was of its time.
It was a moment.
And if you see it now, you're like you recognize, you know what it is, but you're like, what's that? Like,
but I miss her.
You miss her.
I do a little bit. I miss her.
Okay.
I think we should bring her back.
Okay.
But I also I'm okay with letting sleeping things rest.
When I was in third grade, my favorite shirt, this was 1998, my favorite shirt, it was a tie-dye shirt with the yellow smiley
with the yellow
face
smiley
right in the middle.
So you can get a little
but the smiley
funky
face,
with it.
It wasn't just a smiley face. It was a smiley face and also a peace sign. Because peace signs were a big thing.
Well, peace signs. Actually, that's its whole other thing.
Peace signs to that.
That's a whole other.
Yeah, the 60s had a weird resurgence in the 90s.
Yeah.
And it was like peace signs and tie-dye, all of that came back. I was a hippie for Halloween in the third grade.
Were you?
I was.
Yeah. Remember when the gender symbols were like a big thing in culture?
Yes. Oh my God. People got them tattooed on them.
Yeah. Or like necklaces of like. Yeah.
I'm a girl. I'm a boy.
Yeah.
I like girls. I like boys. Like.
Okay. Yeah. That was like the same time frame as like the peace sign, as like the yin and yang.
So okay. So I'll add the gender symbols. So if you see a person today, like, let's say, okay, which one is a cool girl in 2023 gonna wear? A yin yang, a smiley face, a gender symbol, or a peace sign?
Here's the thing: a cool girl today is wearing a gender symbol, but she's wearing a male gender symbol. She's being subversive.
Because you could call her daddy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What about a cool girl in the 90s? The coolest of the cool girls.
Peace sign, baby.
Peace sign, baby.
They're peace signing it.
I agree.
Right?
Peace sign toe ring.
Yeah. See? I probably had one of those.
Probably. Okay. All right. Okay. So we've talked about that. That's great. All right. Hot Topic versus Spencer's Gifts. Where were you shopping?
It's so hard. Okay. I've got to give it to Hot Topic personally because they were the ones on top of Twilight. That's where
Girl, that is the reason that I started to hate Hot Topic.
See, that's up my alley. They had the meet and greets at Hot Topic. Like, they had all of the merch.
You know, you don't realize that a 6-year age difference is that big of a deal until you say, I love Hot Topic because of Twilight.
Yeah.
Which for me is when they went downhill.
Yeah, no, that is like, that is peak teenage Kayley.
Not my Hot Topic. My Hot Topic was like metal bands, like actual metal bands, like Lamb of God, Megadeth, Soilwork, just like Ghost Brigade, In Flames. Like they had like real metal bands.
So you're going with Hot Topic as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Although I do love a Spencer's gift.
Spencer's is great. I didn't get into Spencer's. I got into Spencer's more when I got older because of their like novelties. Not even like their merch so much as like just like their little kitschy stuff.
Yeah. So did you go to Spencer? Because Spencer's had, I would say, about 3 components to its store. They had trashy, shitty T-shirts. They had bongs and weed paraphernalia, and then they had like lava lamps and stuff. And then they had like practical joke gag gifts.
Yes.
So which area of the store were you?
I'm in the like the themed. I don't know how to explain it. Like, you know, like the themed area where they have like the T-shirts and like the gags from shows and stuff.
Oh,
I'm like there.
Oh, a lot of Family Guy
I want
stuff.
like references
A lot of Family
to like
Guy
dumb
stuff in that
sitcoms.
area.
Yeah.
I think I got my friend from Spencer's gift like a Stewie action figure.
Yeah.
That you could like press it and it would be
That's
like,
where I'm
what the deuce?
out.
Like,
Yeah.
how 2000s is that?
I did once buy a plastic boob from Spencer's, which was very fun for a while until it popped. But that was great.
They also had the fake vomit and the fake dog shit. Yeah, there was a lot of.
They just had some fun stuff.
Yeah, they had vibrators.
I guess they still do. Do they?
Yeah, that was the first place that.
Justin's like, yeah.
Oh, they.
I was shocked it didn't come up as like.
Oh yeah,
like adult bookstore.
Vibrators.
See, I was afraid of my
fleshlights.
vagina for too long. I never really dove too far into that.
Dude, I never used a vibrator until I got an OnlyFans and people bought them for me.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, I've never purchased a vibrator or dildo with my own money ever, and I didn't ever use one until
Did it change your life?
No,
No.
I still prefer without
fingers?
it. Yeah, I don't need it.
Oh.
It's fine. I do it for you guys. OnlyFans.com/Ariel
I know you were
Julie.
looking at Justin. I was like, him? Really? Are you a subscriber?
Not that I'm aware of. But if he was, he would be treated equally. Okay? I don't discriminate. Also a Hot Topic girl. Hot Topic, for me, in the early to mid 2000s, had all of the metal, like the real metal bands, punk bands. It was like the giant walls just covered in these T-shirts. And then they had like the pants with the zippers and the rhinestone
They sure
belts or the studded belts. And they had like the studded cuffs and they had like the plaid and the like that whole punk girl
They sure did.
scene. And I was so into that. Like I was, a girl from Vernon Hills, Illinois. Like I'm the girl from the most Midwestern North Shore suburb. And I'm like, I'm a punk.
I'm a badass.
I'm not a punk. I was not a punk.
Oh, I miss malls.
Yeah, dude. Hot Topic was the shit. And they also had like all the Invader Zim clothes. And I still have a hoodie.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd mashup.
It was. Well, they also had like the Hello Kitty stuff in the corner.
Yeah, because they did do like weirdly, like they were like, we're dark and punk, but they're like cutesy. Like punk and like cutesy stuff goes hand in hand.
Yes, it does. Because there's the two kind of goth girls. There's like the I'm a vampire, I'm a witch goth girl. But then there's also like the I wear black lipstick, but I love rainbows.
Yeah, but I'm a mermaid. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm a mermaid.
Yeah.
Dude, mermaid, that became a thing too. But then Hot Topic.
I think women went too far with the mermaids.
Oh, absolutely.
I was like, y'all gotta.
It's been a whole.
calm down.
I saw there's a documentary on Netflix about people, about the mermaid culture, and Bob and I almost watched it that last night. We were this close.
That sounds awesome. I'm fascinated
I'll
by
watch
people
it
like
with
this.
you.
I would love to.
So Bob and I were about to watch it, and then we were both like, and he was like, I don't need a bit this badly. And I was like, okay.
Fair
So we
enough.
watched Parks and Rec instead.
Fair enough.
But Hot Topic also had like the shows that I was into that were less mainstream at the time, like Supernatural, for instance. Supernatural premiered in 2005, and it ran for 15 seasons.
Too many.
No, it is not. It wasn't
That
enough.
is too many. That show.
I would have watched it for another 20 years. I love that show. I love that show.
Another Gilmore Girls alum.
Jared
Padalecki.
Yeah, and Mr. Jensen Ackles. But Jensen's character was named Dean.
Yeah.
You couldn't think of one other name, WB.
Yeah.
One other name.
No, they could not.
Oh my God. So
Yeah.
Supernatural.
I do remember Supernatural being a big
Yeah.
thing.
Harry Potter had a lot of merch in Hot Topic.
Yeah.
That was a really big one. If you wanted merch, I mean, Twilight obviously had its moment, and then some of those other like big movies.
Did they get into Hunger Games at all?
Yeah.
They did?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was Hunger Games stuff in there, but that was a little later.
Yeah.
But like when I started going, they had like kind of the stuff that you couldn't find in a lot of stores. Like they had Pokemon stuff and Digimon stuff. Ooh, that's one I have. Pokemon versus Digimon. Do you have opinions on
Yeah,
this?
for sure. I don't really know anything about Digimon, and I like collected Pokemon cards as a kid. So like I
You
am
don't know
all...
anything about Digimon?
No.
Okay. What about you, Justin?
Yu-Gi-Oh! See,
Get
that's
out
where
of
I think
here.
the real battle is.
See,
Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh!
I never watched Yu-Gi-Oh! My sister did.
All
but
I know is my
didn't.
cousins would just be yelling like Kamehameha like 24/7.
I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Had cards. My sister tried to get me to play a couple times, but I just never.
Did you collect the cards?
Oh.
And my brother collected Pokemon cards, so we fought about it.
Oh,
We
yeah.
collected Pokemon cards. Digimon didn't really have cards, but the thing is, like, Pokemon was like Pokemon Pocket Monster, and it's the story about these kids basically who catch these Pokemon and then they raise
really
them.
barbaric, kind of.
Very barbaric.
It's just about like domesticating wild animals.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And then making them
To
fight.
fight.
each other.
yeah.
Digimon was a little bit more like spiritual because it was this group of kids who were at this camp and then they weirdly randomly get transported to this Digimon digital monster world, but that's where they find their like
Digimon
spirit
digital monster.
Yeah, they find their spirit Digimon. And it's like they all have this one Digimon that they were supposed to find that is their spirit. So you're not collecting multiple Digimon.
Okay.
Every kid
You're finding
just
the
has
one that matches you.
Yes.
Interesting.
And that Digimon
Kind of like a Patronus?
kind of like a Patronus.
Of sorts?
Yeah, because every Digimon really matched like their person. So like the nerdy guy, his name was Izzy, and his Digimon was Tentamon, who was like a bug, and he was like kind of the nerdy like math kind of guy. But then like the main guy was Tai, and his Digimon was like kind of like a dinosaur or something. Like it was cool. And their Digimon, like with a Pokemon, once it evolves to its next level, it doesn't go backwards. It's just evolved, and now like it's a Pikachu, now it's a Raichu, or it's a Squirtle, now it's like up to a Blastoise, and then but now it's that forever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But in Digimon, you level up to fight, and you get to your higher whatever thing, and then when you're done fighting, you level back down to your like
You go back to a baseline.
yeah, back to baseline.
Okay.
Where you're like cute and easier to like carry around. I don't remember if the Digimon talked.
I mean, it seems more ethical.
I think they did.
They seem more ethically sourced, the Digimon.
I think they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give it to you.
I was
You're probably right.
I think Digimon is a better show, but Pokemon is obviously a cultural
Yeah.
cornerstone.
Yeah.
It's
Pokemon Go. That was its whole own thing.
I went on a date with a guy who was actively Pokemon going during the date.
Here's the thing: Pokemon adults, Harry Potter adults, and Disney adults are all the same genre of person, and it's evil.
And they're all the worst.
and it's the same as Glee adults. The same genre.
You mean Gleeks? How
Gleeks.
dare you? I think Hot Topic sold some Gleek merch.
Yeah, I'm certain they did.
like Slushy and the Loser. Yeah, I'm sure they did that. All right. All right. Okay. Next, back to fashion. Limited 2 versus dELiA's.
Oh, I gotta go limited 2,
What?
baby. I gotta
No.
go limited 2.
What?
Yeah.
Which is crazy because you were very young.
Yeah, but that was like where to go. Like you were cool if you could afford limited 2.
Yes. And it was very expensive.
It was not cheap.
No.
And then they changed to Justice.
They did.
Which was like a dumb rebrand.
It
Why did they
was
do that?
The Discovery for little kids.
Yeah. It was like when the WB changed to CW.
Yeah.
And it was this whole thing.
It was just not as good.
Yeah.
It was like a cute, similar, but not as good kind of
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
Version.
Agreed.
Not
Virgin?
Yeah, well, Virgin shop there, but
Yeah. Well, I would hope. They're like children.
I was all about Limited 2 when I was a kid. I had 2 pairs of shoes from Limited 2. One, do you remember when they did the sneakers that were like slides? Like they cut the backs off the
Yeah.
sneakers.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely had those.
They were tennis shoes, but they were slides.
For sure.
I had a pair. They were white, and they were sort of made to look like a knockoff Adidas, but there were only 2 stripes on the side instead of the 3.
Sure.
And so this was a white pair of slide tennis shoes with 2 bright blue glittery stripes on the side. And I wore the fuck out of those shoes.
I bet you did.
I loved those shoes.
You never felt cooler than when you were wearing those shoes.
And then I had this other pair. They were sandals. They were from Limited Too. They were black. They were like that foamy, like kind of platform. And they had like various straps and then like the little toe part. And on the little straps were these little beaded flowers. Because of course they were. They were perfect for a bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I, as a kid, I remember like, I'm wearing these platform shoes. I'm so tall. I found them as an adult, and they're like half an inch. They're not tall. They're the tiniest platform.
You're like, I'm in heels.
Yeah, yeah, right? And you think you're so cool.
Yeah.
I remember buying body glitter a lot from Limited Too.
So you also going Limited Too?
We haven't even gotten to dELiA's yet.
Yeah.
Right now we're talking about Limited Too.
Yeah.
And I did love it. I had blow-up furniture from Limited Too. I had the chair with the ottoman that had like the SpongeBob SquarePants style flowers on it. I was all of yeah, that was a moment. But dELiA's was like, you're growing out of Limited Too and you are becoming a woman. And dude, there was nothing more holy or sacred than the arrival of the dELiA's catalog.
We never got that. We didn't have a dELiA's near us. No.
Oh.
No.
You missed out.
I know.
dELiA's
That was a bummer.
dELiA's
We had like
bad.
a Deb. I don't know if that's comparable.
I remember Deb. I bought my freshman year homecoming dress from
Yeah,
Deb.
they had all those. Had like the fancy shoes and they had jewelry that were nice too.
They did have some decent jewelry.
Yeah. Or like I was like an Aeropostale girl.
I went there a couple
we never
times.
had dELiA's.
Aero was a little too preppy for me.
Yeah, very preppy.
Yeah, I really, when I went to the mall, because the thing with Limited Too, I still loved it even when I had clearly outgrown it.
Yeah.
And so it was like, you could go there with your mom, but like not with your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember going with my dad and being so embarrassed.
Yeah. You're like, please.
I was like, no one can see me with him.
Please go in here. Yes, but dELiA's was like the teen girl heaven in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh my God, because it had the chunky shoes. It had like the baggy, like really your style, honestly, like that baggy pants with like the tight little tee. They had like the cute tees with like the funny sayings on them, you know, or like little, like kind of a retro design with some of their t-shirts. Like I remember I had a shirt from dELiA's that had like a bunch of cassette tapes on it. Like that was cool. I had a shirt with a glittery pig. It was like a chubby glittery pig. And it said, please hug me, don't eat me. And it was supposed to be for vegetarians, but I was like, no, it's because I keep kosher. Yeah, which I sort of did for a minute. But yeah, dELiA's was like, God, that catalog. It had the dresses. My 8th grade graduation dress was from dELiA's.
Oh, yeah?
It was like this pink, like kind of lacy. And the skirt was like on an angle. Made no sense at all.
What a special situation.
So I think Limited Too iconic, but dELiA's more practical.
Oh, okay.
Like dELiA's is what you wear on the first day of school.
Yeah.
You know, you're decked in dELiA's from head to toe on that first
Limited
day of
Too,
school.
you have like a piece or two.
Yeah.
You're not outfitted in full Limited
Plus,
Too.
I feel like Limited Too is more expensive.
It for sure was.
Yeah.
I mean, at least, I don't know. We were poor, so maybe it's just relative, but we thought it was really expensive.
It was expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. dELiA's was the shit.
Yeah.
It was the place to be.
Yeah.
And that catalog though.
I know. I wish I experienced this. It sounds awesome.
Well, we'll look through on our own time. Haha. Okay. All right. So I think I don't know where we arrived there. All right. This is going to be an interesting one. Let's see if you know what these are.
Okay.
Paul Frank versus Lisa Frank.
I know Lisa Frank.
Okay.
I have no idea who Paul Frank is.
Paul Frank is the monkey.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm familiar. I mean, just in terms of what was relevant when I was little, I would go Lisa Frank. Well, I think Lisa Frank is, like, they're still...
He's iconic.
Yeah. People are still making folders and stuff with Lisa Frank styles on them.
Because she just went all out with the rainbow.
Yeah. Well,
So,
it's like, what is Paul doing?
this was
Not
Paul
that.
Frank with that monkey.
Yeah, ew, get him out of here. I don't even want to look at him. Get out of here, Paul.
What was with that monkey, though?
I don't know.
Why was it such a thing?
Why did we care about Paul?
Do you remember Happy Bunny?
No.
Do you even know what this is?
I don't think so.
Okay, this was like kind of a hot topic thing. Happy Bunny was this little pink bunny that like wanted to murder everybody. And it
was for children?
Yeah. It was like this cute little bunny that just said mean things, and it had like mean phrases like, I put cyanide in these breath mints here. Like it was this cute little, I loved it. I was so into
That
Happy
sounds so
Bunny.
bizarre.
Yeah, I was never a Paul Frank girly, definitely Lisa Frank.
Yeah, Lisa Frank all the way.
But you outgrow Lisa Frank, but now it's like coming
But now
back.
it's back. Once you're an adult, you're like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
She was right the whole time.
I can do this.
Yeah.
Because there's that moment when you start shopping at Hollister. That's another one. Well, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
There's that moment when you start shopping at Hollister where you're like, I can't let people know that I like rainbow polar bear diaries or whatever.
Right.
All right. How about this? Abercrombie and Fitch versus Hollister.
Ooh, Hollister.
Yeah.
Hollister. They had, God, it's such... In hindsight, I would never go into a store like that ever to this day. Like, the smell, the overwhelming smell of cologne. It's
Terrible.
dark. You can't see anything in there.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
there's, like, 4 things. They're all way overpriced. You can't see anything. It smells so bad because there's, like, 9 different cologne smells happening all at once.
Right. And they're all awful.
Yeah.
What I loved about Hollister was that every store in every mall had that like
cabana
cabana,
type,
with like the terrace.
structure, yeah.
There was like a little like balcony,
and then there was
or, like,
2
a
sides
porch.
you could go in on both sides.
It was like a porch. They
Yeah.
built a like an outdoor like porch and terrace.
Yeah.
with 2 entrances for every Hollister.
Yeah.
across the country.
That is crazy to think
Because
about. I never thought about that.
I saw like a BuzzFeed listicle that was like stores that clearly used to be other stores.
Yeah.
And it's like, look how they turned this old Hollister into a McDonald's.
Right.
Because you can still see.
Oh, that rules.
the
That
structure is
rules.
still
I love stuff
there.
like that. It's like a liminal space.
Yeah, and I love that Hollister is like, we are a California store.
Yeah.
And like, this is.
Yeah.
There is like construction happening.
Yeah. There's something so hyper teenager about that store. Yeah. Like that store could not exist. The vibes of it could not exist for any other demographic than teenagers.
The thin,
like
tiny,
15-year-olds.
like threadbare thin t-shirts
Like-
that are like on the floor.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, and they all say like California, the beach, Route 66.
Yeah. Yeah. They just have a
Okay.
year on them.
Yeah. 1973.
Not any specific year,
with
just
like
a random year.
Surfboard
Yeah.
behind it.
79. And then, yeah, exactly.
And you're like, why?
And then it says Hollister Co.
Right.
And you're like, oh, that's $50.
Do you remember
Perfect.
Weathervane? Do you remember that store?
No.
There was a store in our mall called Weathervane. There was also a Wet Seal.
I remember Wet Seal.
Wet Seal was like if you were even too trashy for Charlotte Russe.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Do you remember Charlotte Russe?
I love Charlotte Russe. Charlotte Russe is one of my favorites for a long time.
Charlotte Russe had so much inventory.
I love Charlotte Russe.
So much inventory.
And cheap. It was kind of like the sheen of like
Of real life.
retail stores.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like an in-person Sheen before
You
Sheen.
could be a teen with like $20 and you come out with like 2 pieces.
Yeah.
Or 3.
Or 3.
You could get some jewelry there. They had lots of cheap jewelry.
Or flip-flops that
Flip-flops.
were uncomfortable
Yeah, or
and
panties.
barely
I would
fit.
get my panties from there.
Yeah, in the 5 for 5 deal.
5 for 5 deal. That's right.
And they were so, like, they were, like, lacy but itchy.
Yeah.
Because they weren't good quality.
I'm surprised you shop because Charlotte Russe is pretty preppy too. Not as preppy as Aero, but pretty preppy, I would say.
I feel like Charlotte Russe was more generic of just, like, these are knockoffs of what people are wearing. Like, it was, like,
Yeah.
leggings and, like, whatever shirt. Yeah, I definitely shopped at Charlotte Russe.
Yeah.
I bought a Band-Aid dress from Charlotte. Remember the
Oh,
bandage
yeah,
dresses
I
that
sure
were, like,
do.
really tight?
I sure do.
Bought that dress from Charlotte Russe for my 21st birthday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I wore a pair of heels that were also from Charlotte Russe. They
Nice.
were basically made of cardboard. Like
Oh, yeah.
the shoes were
The shoes are so poorly made.
terrible quality.
So poorly made.
like it was like I would compare
Was
it
it
to
for like $12 though?
I know
Makes
I would compare it to Forever 21. But like I feel like
Yeah.
Forever 21 has really lasted. It's still
Yeah.
a thing, but Charlotte Russe sort of
Yeah.
didn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But they're doing similar things.
yeah, but Wet Seal was like even trashier.
Yeah. Wet Seal was like if you are a 19-year-old who's going out to a club with their fake ID.
Like now we just have Discover.
Yeah.
Or Discovery. What is-
Discovery.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now and that store, the premise of that store was like cheap clothes to wear to
Yeah.
the club.
Right.
Wet seal, what does that even mean? A wet seal?
I don't know, but it feels sexual, right?
It is.
It seems like they were going for something sexual there.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the vibe of the store, but it's also like you're trying to appeal to 17-year-olds. So
I mean, it did.
I guess it worked. I don't know.
I bought my first low-cut top from
Did
Wet
you?
Seal.
I remember going to Wet Seal for the first time and thinking, wow, like
Gross. This is gross.
I was like,
and I'm gross for shopping
I'm
here.
sexy.
No, so for preppy stores, I feel like if you were doing a preppy store, would you do an Aeropostale or American Eagle? Those were the preppy stores.
Earlier in my life, like middle school, I'm going Arrow every day of the week.
Interesting.
High school dash now, I would go American Eagle for sure.
So for me, it was T-shirts from Aeropostale, but jeans from American Eagle.
I think American Eagle is just better quality overall.
It is, but American Eagle had jeans that fit me because,
Yeah.
as we know, I am 4'10". It's right there.
Yeah.
And jeans just don't ever fit me. So
Yeah.
American Eagle actually had jeans that I didn't have to get hemmed. But like a lot of places that sold jeans in that day were like, oh, if you're short, you're also a size 00, right?
Yeah.
No, I have a really big butt and thighs, but I am short. And they're like, oh, poor you.
Yeah.
I guess you're wearing leggings forever. Good thing that's trending now. Okay. Speaking of jeans, actually. All right. Which would you rather? Low-rise jeans versus capri pants with stilettos.
Ooh, I think capri pants with stilettos was kind of chic.
No.
Yeah,
No,
I
it was
do.
not.
I think it's coming back.
Those cargo capri pants.
Yeah, I think it's kind of chic.
Terrible.
Yeah, low rise,
No.
it's like, what are we doing here? Why?
If you were thin, it looked great. I was a low-rise girly.
If you're like stick thin, but if you have any type of belly, I don't think either one of us, we're both small women. If we both wore low rise.
I was smaller back then.
Oh,
Back-
fair.
Back
Yeah,
then.
same. Yeah, I
Back
understand.
in the day.
But I mean, like, if you have any type of womanly flesh on you, like, low rise is not looking good.
Okay, fine. Okay, whatever. You're
Like,
just
I
jealous.
don't know. I'm not saying you don't look like, you
wanna
look
flash,
great.
You don't want to flash your whale tail?
I just don't need people seeing my pooch. You know what I mean?
Do you remember the whale tail?
I do. It was a big thing. I never liked it. It was never for me.
No, I never looked good.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
That was the whole thing. Celebrities were like, look at my thong, too. Like,
Yeah.
even Halle Berry did that.
Yeah.
She's-
Also, if you wear low-rise jeans and any amount of your ass crack is out, you look so trashy.
Yeah.
You look terrible.
This is where tramp stamps came from.
Yeah.
People were like, well, you could already see it.
Yeah.
So let's just put a
Yeah.
stamp on it that says open for business or whatever. Okay. All right. I think that's fair. I see where you're coming from. I see where you're at. I see you. I see
respect.
you.
I respect.
I respect it. I hear you. I hear you. Okay. Okay. How much time do we have? Where are we?
You're at 33.
Oh, great.
Ooh.
Okay. We've got a good 10 or so minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to get into some real shit.
Okay.
This is one, I don't know if you know as much about this one, so you can pass if you need to,
Okay.
but Laguna Beach versus the Hills.
I know a lot more about the Hills.
Okay.
Because I watched that whole through. I did not watch all of Laguna Beach.
But that's where the
So I
Hills
can't, I know.
started.
I don't think it's really fair for me to judge, but I have to go to the Hills just because I don't know anything about Laguna Beach.
Okay.
Besides that it was like the predecessor.
I go with Laguna Beach
Yeah.
because it was the predecessor.
Yeah.
And Laguna Beach was way more unscripted than the Hills. It was still contrived.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was still, it wasn't scripted.
Did Laguna Beach have like Steve Coletti?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. And Kristen Cavallari and Lauren
Yes, because I know he got lost. Like he didn't come back for the Hills.
He chose not to.
Okay.
If you listen to Back to the Beach, a podcast with Stephen Coletti and Kristen Cavallari.
This is a podcast. We recommend other podcasts. You should be
It's a really
listening
good podcast. And if you were watching this, you probably were already watching Back to the Beach, honestly. But they go through every single episode
Yeah.
of Laguna Beach, season 1 through 2, and they tell you, like, this was a wild line, this was a pickup scene.
Were they like teens in Laguna Beach?
Yes.
Because they were young adults in
They
the
were
Hills.
right. So they were actually in high school.
Okay.
So Laguna Beach was one of the first reality series. Like, it was the predecessor really for the Jersey Shore.
Also, like, what parent is agreeing?
Well,
like,
at the
make my child a
time-
reality star.
At the time, reality TV wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
This is like 2002.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, this is like maybe reality competition. Survivor had just come out.
that is
But that
true.
was a competition. So a lot of these parents didn't really know
right.
what the show was even gonna be.
Right.
Like when the kids signed up for the show, they didn't even know what they were gonna make of this show.
Sure.
And the producers, they tell the story. The producers came into their high school and they said, we want to set a show in beautiful Laguna Beach, California. It's this gorgeous setting, and these kids are all beautiful, pretty wealthy kids. And they find out about this love triangle between Kristen, Steven, and Lauren. And other people were talking about it too. And Kristen, Steven, and Lauren had all signed up to be on the show. And so the producers were like, that's the show. Is like this love triangle. And then, there are subplots with like the other characters.
Yeah.
And then by the second season, Lauren and Steven have kind of got off the college, and they still come back here and there. But now they have like kind of not a new cast, but like now they have Jessica and Jason and Alex M, and they have now Kristen is the narrator, and it was I'm a Laguna
They're playing
Beach.
with the storytelling elements.
Laguna Beach feels just a little bit more pure. The Hills, like Heidi never worked at Bolt House.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that was straight up just plot.
Yeah.
That someone wrote.
Yeah.
So that's why, and I hate Heidi.
Yeah.
Heidi.
She's a bad human.
Oh my God. Heidi and Spencer, and they're still together.
Yeah.
And
I believe they're children of the Antichrist. I truly believe
they're
that.
broke. Did you know that they're broke?
I knew that years. Are they still broke? They never figured that shit out?
Probably.
Well, Spencer was selling crystals for a long
He
time.
was spending money on crystals. He spent their fortune on crystals.
That is crazy because they had so much money from that show. They could have been set for life easily.
Yeah, but they're idiots.
And didn't she have she kept getting boob jobs?
Oh, yeah.
And they ended up looking like
Comical.
heinously large.
So
Like
Heidi
scary.
Heidi Montag makes her first television appearance in the later episodes of season 2 of Laguna Beach with Lauren, because she and Lauren meet in San Francisco.
Were they authentically friends?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Heidi and Lauren were authentically friends. Audrina was cast, but she didn't go to an audition. She just happened to live in the same apartment
That's
complex.
hilarious.
And producers scouted her by the pool and said, do you want to be on the show and be friends with these girls? And she was like, sure.
They said, you're a brunette, we have 2 pretty blondes.
Yes.
And you
So
will not threaten the integrity of this production.
They staged her meeting Lauren and Heidi for the first time by the pool.
Right.
Which it really was the first time they had met.
Right.
But it was like a contrived meeting.
Sure.
And then Audrina really did kind of become friends with them. And,
Yeah.
and there's that. But she's also like a soulless, vapid
there
human
'cause she's
being.
getting money.
She has no personality.
Yeah.
She's just really, really thin.
Yeah.
Like really thin.
That's like kind of, I feel that way about Whitney too.
Oh my God, Whitney.
Like,
Whitney was real too. She really was applying for an internship at Teen Vogue.
Yeah.
That was real, and they scouted her at the interview and asked her if she would be willing to do the show.
No kidding.
Yeah, and with
She's
Lauren's,
like, you're so pretty.
she's
Just
so pretty.
be quiet.
But
be
she
pretty.
really did want that internship.
Yeah.
So that was real. And her friendship with Lauren was pretty real. With Lauren, they knew that Lauren was going to get the internship at Teen Vogue. Lauren did not know. So when Lauren gets the phone call that she got it, that is a real reaction. She really did not know that she was going to get that internship. But it was set up by MT. And I'm like, how did you not know? Come on. Of course you're going to get the internship at Teen Vogue. But Heidi, when she first makes her appearance on Laguna Beach, she is adorable. She is just this cute, like bubbly, fun personality. She looks gorgeous. She's like a little smaller chested, but she's just like cute, and she has this really cool style, and she's just like, I'm so into their friendship. I think she's really cool. And it immediately goes downhill when she starts dating Spencer.
Yeah.
He is so clearly the worst person in the whole world, and he ruins everything. And I think Lauren is a true queen through the whole thing. And I'm a fan of Lauren. And she did guest episode in an episode of Back to the Beach. Yeah, she's a queen. So me personally, I go with Laguna Beach.
I respect that.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I want to do that one. All right, should we talk about music?
Yeah.
All right.
What's the
Britney versus Christina.
Okay. God, that was
I know we only
tough.
have a couple minutes left, Justin. I know. We're wrapping up.
I'm gonna go with my girl Britney.
Really?
I gotta go with my girl Britney.
You were a Britney girl.
Yeah.
I was a Christina girl.
Yeah.
Because everybody loved Britney.
Yeah.
And
she
Christina,
was pop culture
but
for like
Christina
5 years.
had a better voice.
Yeah, Christina's more talented. Britney's more iconic, in my opinion.
I know.
In my opinion.
And I hated that.
Yeah.
Why was Britney more iconic?
Yeah.
Why?
I think It's like, you look at Christina, that's a gorgeous, talented individual. I love burlesque. Listen, I'm a Christina fan, okay? But like, when Britney Spears is on camera, like you've seen her music videos where she's just, it's like a oneer. It's 3 minutes. She's like magnetic. There's something, you can't look away from her.
I know.
I don't know what, it's that something in that, they had some special sauce and they made her or something.
Yeah, and I mean, her Instagram today.
I feel so, like they traumatized that young woman.
Because now she's in her
So painfully.
late 30s.
40s. She's in her 40s. Early 40s. She might be
She's in
40.
her early 40s, and she's just dancing in circles, wearing...
And she's doing the same dance moves she did when she was 19.
Yeah.
Because I truly believe that's where she stopped mentally developing.
But she's like wearing all these like low rise. She's still doing the low rise.
Okay, that's my one issue with Britney.
With her thumbs.
Britney, if you're watching, get some high rise jeans. I'm begging you. You have an amazing body.
Great. She
Yeah,
looks
you
fantastic.
look amazing. Just the jeans could be updated. That's all
wear
I'm
like
saying.
like a regular pair of jeans.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be like 50s high waisted.
Yeah.
Just like a regular pair of jeans.
Yeah. But I agree. I think Christina was for sure way more talented. But they also like didn't. Christina for a minute was not releasing music that really showcased her
talent, yeah.
ability.
Yeah,
and
Genie
it's
in
like
a Bottle
Britney,
doesn't tell us.
right.
What
Where
she can
Britney
do.
doesn't have that vocal ability, so she could just and that's fine. Do that your whole
I'm
career.
sorry, what was it?
It's like, that's great. That's your zone, girl.
It's just a lot of breathing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all Britney songs are. And I'll listen. I'm sat and listen.
Yeah, I'm here for it. All right,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, I hear what you're saying. I hear you. Okay. Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC.
Okay, I have mild thoughts on them because I was kind of growing out of them
You
as
would
I
have
was.
been 4 years old when Backstreet Boys Millennium
I remember
came
having
out.
some hit clips
I was
of them.
10.
Yeah, so
my
you were
God.
like right in the pocket.
I remember hit clips.
But I had a couple Backstreet Boys hit clips. I had a couple NSYNC. I don't think I can pick. I guess if I have to go with either one.
hit clips. Do you want a bulky way to listen to 45 seconds of a pop song?
And I would beg my mom to spend money on those little tiny tracks that you put in the thing.
I remember that.
And I would just dance around to
They were
these
like
30-second clips.
little microchips.
Yeah.
Like these, but they were bulky and
Yeah.
square.
Yeah.
And yeah, where did you even buy them from?
I think it's like a toy, like Walmart,
Yeah, it was like a
Target.
toy.
Yeah, it was in like the toy aisle.
What a weird way to
They were
listen to
great. I
music.
love mine. I had some Britney on those bad boys. You better know.
I had some Britney. I was a Backstreet Boys girl all the way through and through. Forever.
I think I would also go Backstreet Boys if I had to choose.
Backstreet Boys was my very first concert when I was 10 years old in the 4th grade. I went with
Wow.
my, still to this day, best friend Valerie. We were still besties, and she went with me to my first concert. Their opening act in the year 2000, in the year of our Lord 2000, the opening act to the Backstreet Boys Millennium Tour was the one and only Mandy Moore. She was the opener.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
She still does music too.
She was missing me like candy. Yeah. And that was my mom went with us. That was really awesome.
That's so special.
There was a lot of bucket hats.
Yeah.
I wore
Those
a
are
shirt
back.
from I wore a shirt from Limited too. Yep.
Yeah.
And Limited 2 had these bras. They were like little training bras for little burgeoning boobies. And they had these plastic clear straps.
Yeah, baby.
Because you couldn't hold up a strapless bra. You
Yeah.
had nothing there. So it's like a strapless bra. And I remember I like showed it to my mom and she's like, oh, that's a great idea. And I'm like, oh, I should have known.
Yeah.
If mom thinks it's a great idea, like that's
Bad.
probably not
It's
a great
bad
idea.
news. You never want your parent to think you're cool.
But as far as like leading men and music wise, I think Justin Timberlake is more iconic than Nick Carter.
I gotta say, yeah.
He is.
He just is.
I will give it to him.
He just is.
I don't love him. But I think the other members of NSYNC are more forgettable than the other members of the Backstreet Boys. Because the Backstreet Boys, we know Nick, we know Brian, we know Kevin, we know Howie, we know and love AJ. But in NSYNC, you have Justin and you have JC, and then you have like Chris, Joey, and Lance. And Lance like barely sang. I don't even know what Lance's singing voice sounds like.
I don't know either.
I couldn't even tell
No.
you. He was pretty, so clearly gay.
Yeah.
So
Like we knew.
We knew.
Let's not pretend. And they were all sucking a fucking. I believe that.
But Chris Kirkpatrick and Joey Fatone were never cute.
Yeah.
Howie was like, okay.
Yeah.
But Kevin was the one that moms liked. Moms loved them some Kevin from Backstreet Boys.
Interesting.
Loved them some Kevin. All right. Do we have time for one last one? Where are we?
You're 45.
Oh, we're at 45.
We'll do
All
a
right.
quick one.
We'll do a quick one. Okay. I'll let you pick. I'll let you pick.
This is too much pressure.
We have this one at the top or this one down there.
Oh, okay. Let's do Flavor of Love versus Rock of Love.
Flavor of Love versus Rock of Love. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I have such a love for Flava Flav. Like, I think he is such a menace to society.
He is public enemy number one.
He's probably gonna be number one. He did just bring like a bunch of like food to the picket lines in LA though. Like, I think he's just a real dude.
He's a great man.
He seems like just a cool dude. Yeah. Also, like, one of the ugliest people I've ever laid eyes on. And he, like, Flava Flav is so funny because all of these mid-looking bitches, mid to good-looking. There's a couple good-looking ones.
Oh, no. I love that Flavor of Love.
Yeah.
Was like, no, some of these really are in his league. Like, some of them are way out of his league.
Like, they invented the term ratchet, like his biddies.
Dude.
All of them.
It was
all of them.
nothing better than a Flavor of Love marathon on a Sunday morning in the summer
That's
on
what I'm
VH1.
talking about. That's what I'm talking
where we're
about.
at.
Some of the best sound bites, like, I can't even attribute this to Flava Flav, but like Tiffany, who played New York on Flavor of Love.
We'll talk about Tiffany Pollard
One
in
of
a
the
second.
best reality stars that's ever lived.
Hold on.
She's amazing.
She's her own episode.
She is her own
Okay,
episode.
hold on a second.
But she
Okay.
adds to the lore of Flava.
Yes, she does. Now, do we remember the roast of Flavor Flav on
I
Comedy Central?
never watched it.
It was very good.
Is it really good?
They're all on either Peacock or Paramount. I think all the roasts
I
are
have
on Paramount
both, I
Plus.
think.
All of the roasts, all of the comedy, like the good ones, like the roast of David Hasselhoff, the roast of William Shatner, they're all on Paramount Plus right now. And Donald Trump, which that one is actually scary to watch now that we know what happened later in history. But Flavor Flav, the roast of Flavor Flav is
Who roasted him?
Everybody, all the people. Jeff Ross was there,
Yeah.
probably Greg Giraldo, like all the regular roasters of that time. They were there. Lisa Lampanelli, I think, was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's iconic. It's great. They say like you look like a shriveled up raisin.
Yeah.
Like it's so
Yeah.
he is a tiny, weird, disgusting looking kind of man.
Yeah.
Who was like in a rap group in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And a lot of the girls who came in were actually fans. Like they were just fans.
Yeah, I imagine so. Because it's like, I don't know who else is lining up to date this man.
But some of them were just looking to be on TV. Like Pumpkin, who, if we will recall,
Bye, Pumpkin.
she was on an episode of MTV's Next.
Oh, she was.
She was.
So
Yeah.
she was just like a serial reality star.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was not pretty.
Yeah.
What is? I'm
like,
sorry.
what's going
I
on
don't
with
mean-
these clocks? Why are we doing that? I don't understand
and
it.
he gave everybody's name. How racist was Red Oyster's name? The one Asian woman there, he named her Red Oyster.
All of them are so fucked up. It's awesome.
Oh, Buck Wild had like the gap, the
Yes.
inner teeth.
Like, so cruel. But he's like, oh, fuck you. Like, a true terror to the world. I love him. I love him so much.
So we haven't even talked about Rock of Love. I think
yeah,
we're
it's like,
decided.
who cares? I don't care about you, Brett.
Rock of Love was like trashy, but it was meant to be trashy.
Yeah.
And it just,
But it's like, I got enough white people trash at home. I needed something else.
Rock of Love does remind me of a lot of women from Pittsburgh, no offense.
Yeah, that's the demographic they're going
Like
for
a lot
sure.
of single moms from Pittsburgh.
For
who
sure.
they're
Like the burbs, like burbites.
Yeah. That was Heather from Rock of Love
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Who he should have ended up with.
Yeah.
So Brett Michaels' New York was Heather. Like he's the one, she's the runner-up that he should have picked.
That's true.
That he clearly had better chemistry with. But he
true.
went with the younger girl instead. Flavor Flav did the same thing. First season, he goes with Hoops, even though
Why hoops? Who gives a fuck about hoops?
who cares about Hoops?
I don't care about hoops.
But you know what? She later went on to compete in VH1's I Love Money, and she won. She won I Love Money.
Good for her.
Good for her.
Yeah.
She's an athlete.
She's just winning all the way around.
She's a great girl.
Good for her.
But Tiffany New York Pollard,
Tiffany Pollard. What a gem.
her voice with the flavor. He just, I get him. Which she couldn't cook the chicken.
Yeah. So useless. Every single woman in that show is so useless.
Goldie actually went on to be a comedian.
No.
Yeah, one of
no kidding.
our buddies in the scene, he interviewed with her
No
after
shit.
one of his specials. I'll tell you who it is after.
That's funny.
I mean, he's very funny. I don't want to speak ill of
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
I'm not speaking ill, but now I'm afraid to like drop names
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I've gotten in trouble before. So I'll tell you later who it was that
Yeah.
interviewed with Goldie. But she's like a comic now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Good for her.
So I think,
Or not good for her. I don't know if I recommend this lifestyle.
well, if you guys are curious, all of Flavor of Love is on Hulu right now. So is Rock of Love. So
Damn straight.
if you've got a couple hours to kill, knock them out.
Mm-hmm.
I rewatched all of season 1 of Flavor of Love.
I'm halfway through.
Do you remember Hottie? That delusional bitch who thinks she looks like Beyonce?
Oh my God. I love these women. All these women are clearly so cracked out.
They're
Like
crazy.
they're all on meth or something.
And then
It's so good.
And like Flavor has like money from his Public Enemy days, and he's got clock money. The dude's
He
got,
does have clock money.
he's got
He for
clock
sure
money.
does.
And so there's this one episode when they go to like this old folks home, and then the other half of the girls go to this child's birthday party. And he's like, I want to see how these ladies do with old folks because like of my mom, but really it's him because he's an old fucking
He
man.
is. He's old as
He's
shit.
like 30 years older than these women.
Yeah, he is.
And then the other one, he's like, I got a bunch of kids from a bunch of different
Ah,
baby mothers. So
that's
I want to see how
awesome.
these girls are with kids. And I'm like, these were like real kids.
Yeah.
This is like a real child's birthday party.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what if your earliest memory is like, Mommy, why are these trash ass hoes?
That's
These
awesome.
are random
Another reason to love the man.
women in whale tails at my birthday party.
Oh, the whale tails were in full force on that show. That was like,
so terrible.
yeah,
But-
low-rise pants, whale tail central.
But anyway, the one who won that challenge, I think her name was like Sweetie or
Sweetie, I remember Sweetie.
Sweetie wins, and he's like, "So you win the date with Flavor Flav," and she's like all excited. She gets all dolled up for this like a big date, like a big night with
Right.
Flavor Flav. Like, where's he gonna take me? You know,
Right.
he's rich, he's got money, he can take me anywhere. He takes her to a fucking Red Lobster.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And he's like, because I'm just like a regular guy. And you can see on her face, she's like, I hate this.
I would love that. That's my ideal dream. Wet lobster with Flavor Flav. That's my ideal date.
Okay. I think this has been a very successful episode. I think we've answered a lot of questions.
And you know what? Hard-hitting questions,
Hard
too.
hitting. These, I don't think that toe rings are not talked about enough.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
agree.
So this has been great. Kaylee, thank you so much for sharing
Thank you
your
for having
opinions.
me.
We've learned a lot. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been the 4Foot10 podcast. Again, I'm your host, Ariel Julie. I am 4Foot10. This has been Kayley Horton. Kaylee, do you want to plug your socials?
Yeah, you can follow me on social media. I'm Kayley Drinks Milk, Kayley Drinks Milk. I trust you guys can spell for the most part. Yeah, follow me if you want to.
Yeah, you can follow me at Ariel Julie Comedy on Instagram or linktree.com/Ariel Julie. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.